You are watching NetSoft IT Academy. 905-812-2923. info@netsoftacademy.com. www.netsoftacademy.com.
Now let's start with lab number 11. In lab number 11, we are going to be creating mailbox databases and adding user mailboxes here. So first, we are going to create mailbox databases. So I click on servers on my Exchange control panel here, and I click on databases here. So by default, there's only going to be one mailbox database that is active on this server, and it is mounted, as you can see here. We're going to create a new database. This mailbox database will be called Dell database. For the server, I click on browse. Let me actually maximize it so that it's all visible. I click on browse. Now you can see that browser on browser on browser, it's one of those very weird things. So EXEX01, click OK. And make sure that this mount this database option is selected. And click on save. So all the databases, everything will be lined up here and it will be created and it will be mounted on this one server here. Now, after this, it will ask us to restart the Microsoft Exchange Information Store service. So click on OK. Go to Server Manager. Click on Tools. Click on Services. Scroll down until you see Microsoft Exchange. And under that, Information Store, right here. Information Store. This will be after IMAP for backend. So I'm just restarting the service like we were asked to. So we restart the service. I go back to my browser again. Now I'm going to add another mailbox database, this time for IBM. So I click on add IBM database, browse, select this server here, scroll down to the bottom, make sure that this is mounted and click on save. This will again ask us to restart the service. But this time we are going to create one more database and then do the restart. So add one more. This one will be HP database. Browse, Exchange 01 and save. And yes, lastly, we'll also be after this, we are still adding one more mailbox database, that is a corporate mailbox database. Corporate database, browse. We select our server, scroll all the way to the bottom and click on save. Now, after all of these are mounted and we have actually created all of these databases, now we are going to go back to the services icon that I left open running here and right click Information Store, Exchange Information Store and restart it. Now, once it restarts, we can look at the next steps as a part of this lab. So once everything is done, all the databases are created, we can go back to recipients and we are now going to add user mailboxes here. So I click on new and select user mailbox here. Now we are going to create a new user here. So the user for the first name is Jim, last name is Ron. So Jim Ron. Now for the OU, I'm going to click on browse and I'm going to select the IBM OU for this user first. Okay. Now user logon name, JRon. The password would be password 1350 and password 1350. I'm not going to check the require password change at next logon and click on save. This is how you add a new user mailbox. And you see the policy is in effect because JRon, it's directly taking that, even if I put it in small letters. Now, similarly, I will be creating a few more user accounts just like this based on different OUs. So, for example, one of the accounts that I'll create would be something like, let's say I click on new user mailbox. I'm going to expand this. New user, Chris Brown. Now, for organization, this one will be from Dell. This user will be from Dell. Okay. C Brown. Password 1350. Password 1350 and save. Now you can see that C Brown. It's all in caps. Now, similarly, I'm going to create a few other users, each for different OUs, and then we will look at the next steps. So at this point, all of my users have been created here. And you can see a small distinction between all the users if you actually pay a little bit of attention. So the users who were part of the Toronto OU are looking completely different than the users who are part of the other OUs. Now, one thing that I would like to do, and I would also like you to check, is click on Mailflow. Under email address policies for IBM, click on edit and click on email address format and edit the email address format. For this one, take something like, let's say, as smith.john or sjohn at contoso.com. Click on save and click on save. Now, this will again have to be applied. I'm applying it again. Now, once I apply this, I refresh and I go back to my recipients again here. I refresh. You can see a few changes here. So, Clint Eastwood is E. Clint and Jodie Foster is F. Jodie. That is what we were doing. So, certain OUs, the OUs that we had, IBM, Dell, and HP, all three of them, they have an email address policy. Their email address policies would be a little bit different here. Now, you could alternatively also, if I click on the user here and scroll down, and you see there's no domain name here that you can select. That is because we only have one domain. So you can't change the email address completely, but you can change the email address policy again to make it work for you. So let's quickly go to dell.com now. Let's change dell.com as well. Let's change the email address format of Dell so that we can actually see the changes being applied. So we go for John Smith and select a domain here. You can select this is dell.com and click on save. Save. Okay. And you apply it again. Yes. And click on close. Now, once I go back here and I refresh, you see a few Dell.com start emerging. Zig Ziglar, T. Harv and Chris Brown. All three of them start having this. And that is the benefit of this. So now let's take a look at the next set of steps that we'll have to do. These were all just additional things that we were doing. Don't worry about it. These were all just additional things that I was doing. That I wanted to just explain what exactly is happening here. Now, for the next step, we will go back to NITA ADDS01, navigate to Tools, Active Directory Users and Computers, click on Corporate, select the OU, IBM, and you can see that we have all of these users under IBM. All the new ones that we created are also available here. That is the best part. So if I refresh this, everybody is already here. Now, for this one, I just go to Control All Everyone, right click, Properties, and under Company, under Organization, under Company, I just put in IBM and click OK. So now that has updated the account for everyone. The profile for everyone would be, the organization for everyone would be updated to IBM. So I'm going to do the same thing again for Dell. I'm going to select all, right click, properties, organization, company, Dell. And same for HP. Select all, right click, properties, organization, company, HP. And that's that. And that is also the end of this lab here. So I'll see you in the next lab. Thank you so much.
Thank you for watching NetSoft IT Academy. 905-812-2923. info@netsoftacademy.com. www.netsoftacademy.com.